Welcome back to Crystal Clear on the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox, and today I want to just have a discussion. Do not take this as official confirmation. This isn't really a theory either. It's speculation and talking about an idea that a lot of people have thrown out throughout the last 2-3 years. Something that has become of interest more and more to fans. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people aren't really thinking of the pros and cons. And that is, should Steven Universe go completely digital? A lot of people aren't a fan of the current airing schedule. They feel like Cartoon Network does not treat the show well and that it do better on digital streaming services. Now, one thing I immediately want to get out the way is the Netflix or Hulu suggestion. I don't know why I said Hulu like that. Hulu. I don't have anything against Hulu. I actually love Hulu. I use it every day. That either streaming service should buy Steven Universe from Cartoon Network and that'll be a wrap. That's it. And personally, I don't see why people want this. The biggest complaint Steven Universe fans have are the constant hiatuses. Oh my god, the show is always on a break. So why would you want to move to Netflix? I can kind of see Hulu because I do believe Hulu does weekly premieres for their shows, but Netflix? You think episodes every 3-4 months is bad? Would you want an entire season and then a year of nothing? Would you really? Think about that. To put this into perspective, the entirety of season 3 aired as Summer of Steven over a month. So if you got 24, 25, 26 episodes, imagine you got everything from Super Watermelon Island to Bubbled, just all dropped on Netflix in one day, which I would be surprised if Netflix even did that, and not 13 episodes. So yeah, actually they do 13 episodes, but let's just say it's 26, considering Steven Universe is an 11-minute show. While some seasons like season 5, we know that's going to be the big humongous season. I mean, it already has made a lot of strides, but not every season is guaranteed to be a huge banger like season 5. So imagine season 3. Everything from Malachite to Steven and Eyeball in Space was dropped on Netflix, and then you had nothing for a year. Just nothing. Would that really be better than Cartoon Network's touring airing schedule? Because at that rate, you'd still be feeling pretty unsatisfied, and considering the show averages about 20 premieres a year, you'd still be getting the same amount of content. On the other side, and I know this is an argument people are already typing in the comments, stop typing right now. You, yes you, in the striped shirt. It's a nice shirt, but stop typing. People are inevitably going to use the, well, what about Voltron argument? And for those of you who are unaware, Voltron Legendary Defender is a DreamWorks original on Netflix. Amazing show. I really enjoy it. Tom begs to differ. Check out his opinions right here. Anyways, Voltron had a pretty sizable gap between seasons 1 and 2. It wasn't a year, but it was still pretty long. I think it was 5-6 months at least. I'm not as well versed in Voltron as I'd like to be, so I can't give you an exact answer off the top of my head, but even these breaks felt like torture to its audience, and it was half the weight of a typical Netflix show. So to compensate, DreamWorks began splitting Voltron seasons into other seasons like Steven Universe. Seasons got split into half, season 2 became season 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6, etc. Or maybe it was after season 2, maybe it was 3 and 4, I'm not sure, but you guys get the idea. And the logic behind this was that we would get shorter hiatuses, 3 months in between seasons as opposed to 6, 5, around that ballpark. And to that, it's still okay, well, yeah, you're getting the episode sooner, but you're still getting the same amount of content in a year. It's just not as spread out. As for Hulu, again, as far as I know, they do weekly premieres for their shows for a season. Maybe I'm wrong. I know they did that for the Mindy Project, I believe, so Netflix isn't really helping your hiatus case, at all, but I think Hulu would be a better bet. But either isn't going to happen because Turner Broadcasting, not even just Cartoon Network, but Turner itself, they're gonna hold on to that IP. Steven Universe makes too much money for them to even consider giving up. It has merchandise, books, video games, apps, home releases, the works. Not all of it is ideal, they're all lacking in various aspects as far as I'm concerned, but it's still printing money. So please, for your own sake, even if it sounds like a good idea, please just kind of let go the notion of Steven Universe being sold off to somewhere else, because it's probably not going to happen, and I don't want anyone to get their hopes up, constantly going to bat for something that the network just has no interest in. When I proposed the idea of Steven Universe going digital, I mean moving completely to the app, to Cartoon Network's streaming service, and being available for fans to watch on there first and then airing on television months later. And if this sounds familiar, it's because it is. This situation would be very, very identical to when Nickelodeon's The Legend of Korra, the sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender, moved to digital for the remainder of its run. And if you proposed this idea to me a year ago, 2 years ago, I'd be very much against it because it felt like Nickelodeon was giving Korra the boot. That they were just like, alright, the ratings aren't there, even though we barely promote it, we moved it around the schedule 5,000 times, which, to Cartoon Network's credit, they promote Steven Universe whenever it's premiering. They always keep it on the same day unless they move their entire night of premieres. You know, it used to be on Thursday, then they moved our premieres on Friday, and now half of their premieres are on Monday. So it's not only Steven Universe. But for Nickelodeon, it was very much a bad look. Yet, when you take into account their reasonings and how everything played out and compared it to Steven Universe, maybe it's a more ideal solution, because much like with Steven Universe, The Legend of Korra, most of its audience watched online. Most of its audience wasn't the demographic the rest of Nickelodeon shared. There were a lot of adults watching the show, much like Steven Universe. There's a lot of adults watching the programming. A lot of people my age, 18 to 20. At the time of recording this, I'm 20, but I know there's 21-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds who religiously watch the show, who religiously engage in the show. Much like Legend of Korra. With Legend of Korra, the ratings were going down. And yeah, while Cartoon Network's ratings in general are plummeting, Steven Universe ratings lately aren't looking so good, but that's because they've been putting up the episodes early on the app, and I guess the Monday premiere didn't really reach everybody, and a lot of people are just confused on when episodes are coming out. Oh, I thought it was this day. Oh, I thought it was this day. It's on the app? It's on YouTube? Did it leak? Wait, now it's airing on TV? When do I watch it? It's a mess. But also very similar to Steven Universe, Legend of Korra had a hiatus problem. There was over a year gap between book 1 and book 2. I remember I was like, oh, what's gonna happen next? She has her bending powers back and there's 3 more seasons, so where are we gonna go from here? And I didn't find out, I think fall of 2013 when season 1 concluded in the summer of 2012. And I found out at the last possible second because that promotion was a trash wrap, son. And it was on Friday nights instead of Saturdays. I don't know, I'm getting stressed just thinking about it. I'm reliving everything right now. High school me is livid. I was still bald back then. Anyways. Also keep in mind, Korra had a problem of leaks as well. Another similarity, once Korra moved to digital streaming services in books 3 and 4, the hiatuses between all the episodes were like non-existent. It was just a constant stream. The wait between books 3 and 4 was so small. I don't even remember if it existed. I think maybe there was like a week or so off, maybe like a month. Alright, I have it pulled up. Book 3 concluded in August online, August 22nd, and book 4 began October 3rd. So, more or less, a little over a month between books. Imagine if we got Steven Universe on a weekly basis online, and because we didn't have to wait for TV anymore, we were just able to go straight into season 6 after a month or two. That'd be godly. I know Cartoon Network likes dropping a bunch of episodes at once, but this is a scenario where they would do it weekly until the season's done. Wait a bit, go into the next season, and if that was the case, I'd be a lot more in favor for Steven Universe moving. And as much as people were up in arms like, oh, Nickelodeon gave Korra the shaft, you know what kind of slowed down after it moved online? You know, like tremendously died down and some surprises were still there? Guess, come on, guess. The leaks, the spoilers, at least from what I can remember. Yes. With Cartoon Network security and just the nature of that entire company, leaks at this moment are inevitable. They've taken a lot of precautions to fix them or at least counteract them, but I feel as if a lot of leaks, a lot of spoilers, a lot of information that gets out there would be tremendously reduced if the show was releasing weekly online. Then things like, oh, I thought this already aired on television, I'm sorry. Oh, we didn't know this country that is dubbing the show into their language revealed footage that wasn't aired in the US yet. You know, it's just all the little screw-ups and miscommunications that happened throughout the years, I feel as if would just absolve. Because if it's being released online and the hiatuses are shorter, who knows? Maybe, just maybe, the releases in other countries would be a lot closer to the US, because as it stands, there's a massive gap between when episodes premiere in the US and other countries. Granted, now they're catching up, which has presented a few obstacles for Cartoon Network US, but it should have never gotten this way in the first place if you ask me. That's an entirely different topic though. I do want to talk about Steven Universe getting worldwide releases, but not here. Now, if it was still 2014, 2015, Steven Universe still airing on a weekly basis the occasional Steven bomb here and there, this wouldn't even be a conversation. We wouldn't need this. But because Cartoon Network and television in general is in such a weird state right now, where, we gotta push everything to the app, streaming is the future, and the airing schedules for all of these shows really is just so sporadic. All these episodes are being dumped, but with Steven Universe we get episodes once in a blue moon, and it's always like 5 at a time, and it's really confusing, and the Korean Universe is like, don't watch that, no, but watch this, or avoid spoilers, it's just a war zone everywhere, so much confusion. This current system, this current method isn't working, and it feels like they're not going back to their old ways. So if you ask me, they should just pack up their bags and move the show to Cartoon Network's website perpetually. Hell, I don't remember if Korra required a cable login, but just put ads on it. Just put ads on the episodes. I don't know, drop a mid-roll. Yeah, it's only an 11-minute episode, and mid-rolls are weird, but us content creators do it on YouTube, on our 11 or 15-minute videos, so they can get away with it. They used to put commercial breaks in the middle of 11-minute episodes back in the day. By back in the day, I mean like 3 years ago, so they can do it again. And by making it free, not needing a cable login, you're preventing people from watching on a Kiss cartoon or looking up clips on YouTube. I mean, it's the US, so there will always be a block from other countries, but hopefully they'd follow suit too. The Crew Universe works really hard on the show, and their hard work has been undermined tremendously the last few years, and it's mostly due to the release schedule. I'm sure they all went in thinking, alright, let's make a fun little weekly show. People are going to get this on a weekly basis. It may only take like 6 months to get through a season, because it's only 26 episodes, which would take about 6 months to air on a normal network, maybe a little bit more, because every channel has its hiatus, but no, that went out the window. At one point, I don't know if they still do this, but they did say at one point they were writing the show to account for the bomb format, and honestly, that's kind of terrible that you gotta do that, but they barely commit to the bomb format anymore for any of their shows, so that's just kind of awkward now. And again, I don't directly fault Cartoon Network. Imagine how much stress and pressure Cartoon Network is under. Oh my god, television is dying. Oh my god, we're a television network. How do we sustain ourselves? They're trying to make it work right now, but honestly, I feel like the best solution at this point is just putting the show up weekly on the website. We have more than enough episodes. Let's not drop 5 to 6 episodes all in one week. Let's just do it monthly on the app. And yeah, on one hand, okay, well, when we get Townie episodes, let's say we have 3, 4, 5 episodes of Townies on a weekly basis. That's like a month full of Townie episodes, alright, but then when we get to those story arcs, that's a month or so full of story and plot episodes that will keep people coming back every week to see what happens next. Because that's another issue. When you drop 5 episodes all at once and it tells a complete story arc, people can just be like, I'm gonna skip to the end. Why do I need to watch all this middle garbage when the end is right there? I'm not actually calling the story garbage, by the way. I'm just over-exaggerating for the sake of it. But people do that. When they know the end is there, why go through all this fluff? Hell, I remember when Steven Universe Out of This World came out, when the episodes accidentally went up on the app early, people skipped over Adventures in Light Distortion. They were like, I didn't even realize I had to watch that one. Wonder why. But if it just came out on a weekly basis, people would have been like, okay, this is the episode this week. And they would be able to appreciate the crew's hard work because they spend a long time making every single episode. And we don't even appreciate most of these episodes because they all come flying at us one after another. Take this episode, then take this one, and that one, and that one. The thing is, these episodes were designed for television, not designed for Netflix. That's Cartoon Network's greatest flaw. With a Netflix show, every episode is designed to keep you binging and watching. It's like, alright, last episode for the night, but then it ends on this massive cliffhanger. Television isn't designed like that. It's designed for syndication, to be able to air random episodes in any order besides story arcs. And hey, that's partially why the Townie episodes exist if you haven't really noticed. So when you drop all these episodes, people are gonna be like, alright, Townie 1, skip. Alright, here's the one episode out of 5 that I'm going to watch because it looks like it might be interesting. Maybe, possibly. But if it was on a weekly basis, they were like, alright, this is the Steven Universe content I have for the week. Let me enjoy it. Let me consume it like a normal viewer would. People would be less inclined to skip episodes. The hard work of the crew would be appreciated. The spoilers would almost completely diminish because all this miscommunication would cease. Yeah, again, you can't stop the server leaks, but they fixed them to make them a little less spoilery. Please, just put it on the app. Release it weekly. It's already halfway out the television door. I mean, you just did a month for premieres episodes that are on the app almost 2 months ago. Why drag it out any further, Cartoon Network? I mean, I acknowledge that the chances of someone actually in charge of Cartoon Network, has a high voice of power, not even Christina Miller, just someone in charge of putting the episodes out on the app. The odds of them watching this is extremely slim, but I'm still putting it out there. I was strongly against this for Korra, but just do it for Steven. It's not giving up on it. It's doing the fans a huge service at this point because not even Korra had to go through this much BS. Whew. I think that's my passionate rant about a children's cartoon for the day. What do you guys think? Should Steven Universe stay on television? Should they keep this current format of releasing 5 episodes at once? Or do you think it should move weekly to streaming services? Did I make a compelling case? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet those thoughts directly to me at AwestruckVox. We're at the Roundtable on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Roundtable Vids. Help the Roundtable grow by subscribing to us on Patreon. Get access to exclusive perks and have your name featured at the end of the video like all these beautiful, wonderful, triumphant people who help the company grow. Also, swing by our Teespring store and pick up some merch. You know you wanna. Links in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please do a like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to stay in the loop of all things Steven. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. We will prevail. AwestruckVox out.